going to be a scorching summer on Sky Sports for big time darts. The temperatures rising here too. Painter going through earlier this afternoon, 10-8 against Alan Tabern, and a very polished performance from Colin Osborne taking out Jamie Cavan. Here it's Jenkins who's had the early emphasis. He leads 4-1 against Ronnie Baxter, and still to come the outsider Lawrence against Phil Taylor.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yesterday people say, where do I go on my holidays? I said I have a fortnight away. A week in Vegas and a week in breezy Blackpool. Working holiday, but wow.
17.
Well, Ronnie Baxter here, John, had the throw in that last session and took a little bit of a hammering. And there's Coach Stompy, one of our Dutch chums who stayed on to watch the action. Not the greatest tournament for the Dutch.
59.
They came here with high hopes, but Raymond van Barneveld last night was their last flag carrier. So now the Dutch contingent restricted to watching the fun.
Absolutely, Dave, yes, and the UK Open it is, and this year dominated by the UK players. Our friends from America didn't last too long either. So Ronnie Baxter,
94.
every bit an Englishman, Lancastrian, resident in Evesham, Worcestershire these days, not a million miles from Terry Jenkins in Ledbury, Herefordshire.
40.
That's 3/4 of an hour away.
28.
Jenkins didn't want that break, did he? Hasn't bounced back up with any effect at all so far.
88.
Well, Baxter's come back with a bang, hasn't he? 12 darts thrown, 40 wanted. Jenkins left in his wake. Is this 100. A break back for Baxter? Could be. Topsy once, Dave.
Now, you know he wants double 10. So does he.
Ronnie Baxter.
So confident. Baxter retrieves a leg against the throw. He has the darts here to go within one leg. Baxter showing style with steel and skill.
60.
These two players, we've mentioned similarities, and one of them I think is they're both very phlegmatic individuals. They almost treat
26.
dismay and success alike, you know. Ronnie seems to have a permanent sort of happy smile on his face, as though he's enjoying himself. Terry
60.
too.
Well, I think Jenkins needs to be phlegmatic after that last throw. Two treble ones.
Got to get it back, Terry Jenkins. I know you're leading 4-2, but signs of Baxter punishing you if you make too many mistakes. And Ronnie's come back from the break. My.
Breathing fire, Ronnie Baxter. Mr. Fahrenheit just turning up the heat.
Well, he might, Dave. June it may be, but it's cool outside. But as you say, very hot in here.
100.
It's a grey day outside, but a heyday for big-time darts inside.
That Battle of the Jenkins
100.
you mentioned a couple of rounds ago.
141.
I'll come back to it in a minute as we watch Baxter try to take out 141. Needed the treble there, but oh, that's good darts, left it handy. Jenkins will almost certainly go 2 treble 20s, double 15 here. If he gets the first one, could well follow it up with another. Oh, he tried. Unlucky that. Unlucky ricochet. I was saying in Jenkins in that game against Andy Jenkins, he was actually 7-4 down. Clawed his way back. Baxter looks to make it 4-3. He does. Well, he's on perhaps a mini roll. Ronnie Baxter needs to break again here to level up. But game on indeed.
Terry Jenkins must be wishing that first break after 5 legs simply hadn't happened. He was cantering along effortlessly. And it is Ronnie Baxter against the throw in this session,
60.
who's come right back at him. Fascinating match, beautifully poised.
Yes, he beat Mark Webster 9-7, the same score that he beat Andy Jenkins by. Baxter had a 9-7 against Tony Eccles in the 3rd round. And a 9-1 against Gary Welding. Rather surprising that, because Welding was throwing well at the time. Evidently not so well in that match. And then beat Mark Walsh 9-4. Everybody thought it could be Walsh's year.
Yes, he played so well earlier in the day against
99.
Adrian Lewis, and then just suddenly lost his way. Such is this tournament. It is unpredictable, and that's its great magic, its great
100.
charm. It's unpredictable, and for so many people who say, oh, with darts it's the same old faces and the same old people, we know what's going to happen. Just come to Bolton and just watch
60.
this. You never know what's going to happen.
Tony require 141.
Just as a classic example, we've got Phil Taylor to come against the next side of Mark Lawrence, and Taylor's played 3 relative unknowns so far, and now he's in against a lorry driver from Yorkshire 91. Called Nitro, who might just be a little explosive.
He needs the treble 10 here.
27.
A little wayward. He's come back from the break with a degree of waywardness, and Baxter an outside chance, but needed the treble. So maybe Jenkins can 46. Win his first leg in 3.
Terry requires,
and his first since they came back on stage. 64
Terry requires
needed.
64.
Tops he wants. 10s. Well, Baxter gets it. Jenkins doesn't. Baxter will have wished that he'd hit more in the previous visit than 46.
58. Terry required 10.
Terry Jenkins has been dallying a bit here, and he's going to have to use that dart as a cert. He's in a little bit of trouble here. Can't see the target, surely.
Ronnie requires 60.
Out of jail here. Ronnie Baxter, double top. He is normally lethal in this area, and 10s is usually very good to him. And that's a leg that Baxter could hardly have been thinking of winning. And that's the dart that clinched it for Baxter. But Jenkins must be thinking, John, that he really should have done better in that leg.
Yeah, shakes his head, he knows he should. Rather made a mess of it. Let Ronnie back in. But you know, Ronnie Baxter in his heyday, Dave, we remember well, double top, and if he missed the double top, hardly ever missed double 10, and he seems to be in that sort of mode at the moment. Has he rediscovered his best form? Well, he's been playing well for a little while, to be honest, and he's certainly enjoying himself here.
140.
Well, you can see the way the legs have been going with the throw.
140.
The answer is not all that impressively. And Jenkins there, just a reminder, John, had 5 darts, had a double to win leg 8.
139.
Yeah, 6 of the 8 legs going against the throw. That's often the sign of a little bit of untidiness, but this one could be joining them as Tony Jenkins finds his 3rd 180.
Double top.
Brilliant stuff from Baxter, and a 4th leg in a row. And re-echoing what I was saying before, he's deadly on tops, and when he does miss that, his double 10 flies in. That's what's been happening this afternoon.
And Baxter is having a storming session. Remember, at the break he was 4-1 down, and against the throw in this session, he's won every leg and is now 5-4 in front. And this is a mini crisis developing for Jenkins. Got to stop this rot.
99.
Yes, I agree. There was a head shake during that leg of Jenkins, and
60.
then came up and hit a 180, but then, to counter that, Baxter took out what was required and went ahead.
44.